inside Mexico's most secure prison. Every inch of a particular cell was under constant surveillance, except for one blind spot. The man pacing inside wasn't just another inmate. He was Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán, the drug lord who ran one of the most powerful cartels the world has ever seen. His cell was built like a concrete vault. No windows, no sunlight, and no way out. At least, that's what the guards believed. But one night, as El Chapo slowly made his way toward the shower area, he vanished. Not a single guard noticed until it was too late. The world's most notorious drug trafficker had escaped, again. But to understand how El Chapo managed to pull off such an escape, we first need to go back to where it all began. Joaquín Guzmán didn't grow up dreaming of becoming the world's most feared drug lord. Born in 1957 in a poor village called La Tuna in Sinaloa, Mexico, his childhood was shaped by poverty, violence, and survival. His father, a small-time opium farmer and alcoholic, introduced him to the drug world early on. By the time El Chapo was a teenager, school was long behind him. He was already cultivating marijuana in the hills, learning the roots, and building connections. In a place where opportunity was a myth and crime was a way of life, drugs weren't just a choice. They were the only way out. And for El Chapo, it was only the beginning. Slowly, El Chapo started building his name in the area. He wasn't just growing drugs anymore. He was learning how to sell them and how to move them without getting caught. He gathered a few boys from nearby villages. Together, they carried the drug packages through hills and narrow paths, mostly at night. He studied the routes, avoided checkpoints, and made sure every delivery reached its destination. That discipline made him stand out. Soon, local dealers started trusting him. They gave him bigger tasks, longer routes, and more responsibility. In 1980, he joined a gang led by a man named El Güero Palma. This gang was already working with some of the biggest names in the drug world. El Chapo's job was to oversee drug shipments. He had to make sure nothing was delayed and nothing went missing. And if something did go wrong, he dealt with it immediately. After proving himself inside Palma's network, El Chapo caught the attention of one of the biggest drug lords of that time, Pedro Avilés, a man who controlled the largest trafficking routes in Mexico. El Chapo didn't join as a soldier. He was brought in to manage something bigger: logistics, shipments, timing. His job was to oversee the flow of drugs coming in from Colombia and make sure everything moved smoothly across Mexican territory. He knew every trail, every road, every person to bribe or avoid. But in 1989, everything changed. Pedro was captured, and just like that, the organization started falling apart. Where most would panic, El Chapo saw an opening. He didn't wait for orders. He built his own crew, his own system, and soon, his own cartel, the Sinaloa cartel. At that time, most of the drug flow into the U.S. was coming through the Caribbean routes. American agents were focusing all their attention there, shutting down gangs left and right. But while everyone else was watching the ocean, El Chapo looked at the land. He started building routes through the Mexican border. He focused on drugs that brought in the most money: cocaine, meth, heroin, marijuana, ecstasy. And he found ways to move them that no one saw coming. El Chapo knew smuggling drugs through normal routes wouldn't last forever. At first, he hid them in places no one would suspect: fire extinguishers, chili cans, even car rims. These tricks worked for a while, but not for everything. So, he created something bigger: tunnels. He spent millions hiring experts to build underground tunnels stretching from Mexico into the US. These tunnels weren't simple holes. They had electricity, ventilation, and rail systems to move goods quickly and silently. In 1990, US agents discovered his first tunnel, over 300 feet long, ending inside a house that acted as Chapo's safe house. He could use these tunnels for smuggling and even for escaping. By 2010, more tunnels were found, including one in Otay Mesa, California. This tunnel had electric lights and rails, allowing both materials and people to move with ease. Between 2012 and 2013, even more tunnels were discovered near Otay Mesa, proving Chapo's unmatched skill. Because of this, he earned the name King of Tunnels. His tunnels were so deep and well hidden that even ground-penetrating radar couldn't detect them. He often placed tunnel entrances under bathtubs or toilets, always choosing spots with care. Chapo favored Otay Mesa for 3 reasons. It was close to major transport hubs, Tijuana and San Diego. It was an industrial area where construction noise didn't raise suspicion. The soft soil made digging easier, and nearby mountains gave tunnels extra support. But in 1993, Mexican authorities finally caught him. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Yet even behind bars, he ran his empire, bribing guards, holding meetings, staying in control. By 2001, fearing extradition to the US, he escaped. Bribing prison staff, he slipped out in a laundry cart. For 13 years, Chapo stayed free, expanding his tunnels, his trade, and his power. But in 2014, he was caught again. He had one more escape left. In 2015, from Mexico's highest security prison, he vanished again, through a tunnel built under his cell's shower. The tunnel stretched 1 kilometer, fully equipped with lights and rails, ending at a nearby construction site. But his freedom didn't last. In 2016, he was captured again in Los Mochis after another failed escape. By 2017, he was extradited to the United States, where he now serves life in Supermax Prison, Colorado. Even with the highest security, some still wonder, will El Chapo ever try to escape again?